Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Edith. I am a holistic health coach specializing in plant-based nutrition, and this video is kind of like a day in the life, what I eat in a day video, showing you everything I'm consuming and some of my healthcare, self-care habits that I employ on a daily basis. And this is a day that I do go to the gym, so you'll see that in here as well. And it's slightly different than when I don't go to the gym, so maybe I'll share that video in an upcoming video soon. But this is pretty much what I do every day while I'm here in Hungary. And let me know if you have any questions, let me know if you found this helpful, and let me know what you'd like to see in an upcoming video. Okay, so I am showing you guys my morning celery juice. I already had my 32 ounces of lemon water. I didn't record that, it's pretty self-explanatory. However, I do want to say that a citrus juicer is a must-have, because if you don't use a citrus juicer, and I definitely recommend an electric one, you're going to leave a lot of juice behind in the lemon, so I just wanted to point that out. And then in terms of the celery juice, I think I've shown you guys this several times here on YouTube as well. But every morning I have 32 ounces and I use the Nama J2. I have been working with Nama since they first started their company, and I absolutely love them. They have the best cold press juicers, and this particular model is an international model. I'm currently in Hungary, as I've mentioned, so I just want to mention that if you are also in a different country other than the US, you might still be able to get a Nama J2 juicer. So in Europe, you can definitely get one. I'm not certain about all of the countries, but if you go to their website, you can check it out and see that they are compatible. So basically the plug is different, but yeah. So anyway, I've got it all loaded up, and I've got some more celery right here. So I'm just going to run it through, and then I also am going to strain it. Now, the Nama J2 already strains it for you in terms of the filter that's inside. However, I follow medical medium information, and he says to use a fine mesh strainer to strain it again, because with celery juice, you do not want any pulp in there. So the juice works much better, and it's able to do all of its healing powers for you in terms of your digestive health and all of the amazing benefits that it offers when it's at its cleanest in terms of strained form. So you definitely want to use another strainer. I like to just use a mesh strainer like this, and there is always some pulp that's still left behind. So I definitely think it is necessary. It does make a difference. So I highly recommend you do that if you are drinking celery juice. I don't normally do it for anything else besides cucumber juice as well. Other than that, I don't strain anything else. So a typical breakfast for me is fruit. Here I have a melon. I'm not sure what variety it is. It's completely yellow on the outside. It tastes somewhat like a honeydew when it's really ripe. I've really been enjoying them. And then I just have some ripe kiwis as well. So I usually just have fruit before I work out. And this is the best way to start the day. It helps to flush toxins out of the body. You want to avoid overt fats in the morning because the body is in cleanse mode until about noon. I am now showing you guys my smoothie. I typically prepare this before we head to the gym, and then I consume it after my workout, because I work out at the gym for about an hour and a half, and then I go swimming for about another hour, and then I go into the sauna. So I'm there for at least 3 hours, and I want to make sure that I am staying fueled and hydrated, so I consume this smoothie while I'm there. It's kind of like my second breakfast, I would say, because the fruit is very low calories and it's just to get me going in the morning, and then this is going to be a little bit more substantial. And I just want to also say that this is not my typical smoothie that I make in the States. I don't have access to everything I would normally use here, and I also wasn't able to bring enough plant protein powder, so I'm not using any right now, which you don't need to use. I just like it for satiety. I like the flavor of the Sun Warrior protein that I typically use. I've been working with them for many years now, but I don't have any on hand, so I am going with what I currently have. So feel free to ask me any questions, and then I'll also just share like what I typically use. But I like to make a lot of different types of smoothies, but I typically do have a green smoothie that is similar to this. So normally I use spinach. Normally I use like 2-3 cups of spinach. I don't have any right now, so I went out to the garden and I foraged some fresh mint and then some sorrel that's under here. And then I always use at least one orange. Today I'm using 2 because these are kind of smaller, and also for flavor, I want it to taste good, so I'm going to use 2 oranges. I always use 2 frozen bananas. And then I normally use mangoes, but I don't have those. So we actually got a pineapple the other day and I just chopped it up fresh and froze it. So I'm going to be using pineapple, which is also really good. And then I have 1 date for sweetness, and then I'm going to be using some filtered water for my liquid. And then in terms of supplements, I'm going to be adding in a teaspoon of spirulina. I always have spirulina with me wherever I go. Spirulina is, you know, in the medical medium heavy metal detox smoothie. It's really great to get heavy metals out of the body. Unfortunately, I don't have all of the ingredients to make the heavy metal detox smoothie, but I do have the barley grass juice powder as well. And then I'm also going to be adding in a scoop of this mushroom blend from 4 Sigmatic. I've been working with them for a while as well. So they make medicinal functional mushrooms, and I'll show you what's inside. So here we have reishi mushroom, chaga, tulsi, and then we also have moringa, which is not a mushroom, it's a leaf. And then we have ashwagandha, that's also not a mushroom, it's a root. And then we have eleutheria, that's also a root, amla, which is a fruit, and then schisandra. So this is a very good quality adaptogenic blend. And you can see that the only other ingredients are cinnamon powder and yakan juice powder. So very clean ingredients. I do have a peanut butter protein powder with me from 4 Sigmatic that's also extremely clean. However, that wouldn't be good in this smoothie, so that's why I'm not including it here. And then I'm also adding in a scoop of Vimergy's Micro C. I always have this on hand. I have a ton of Vimergy supplements with me. This is a really high quality vitamin C powder. I put this in all of my fruit-based smoothies. It also includes grapeseed extract, silica, rose hips, and I'm not sure how to pronounce that, cerealia fruit, sorry, extract. This is really bioavailable, really high quality. And then I'm also going to be adding in a dropper full of Vimergy's Brain Body Recharge. This also contains CoQ10, K2, and vitamin D3. So this is a really good one to take in the mornings. So I'm going to be adding this, and I have all of my affiliate links for these brands down below, including Sun Warrior, which I'm not including here, but I have a 20% discount link for Vimergy, and then I think a 10% link for Sigmatic, and then I also have a 20% off link for Sun Warrior. And then the spirulina, I would recommend getting the Vimergy kind. This one I got from Amazon. It's still fine, but I would say the Vimergy is higher quality. When you are making your smoothie, you always want to add the liquid first to cover the blades at least, and then you can add your powders for best blending results. And then once you've added all of your supplements, then you can go ahead and add in your leafy greens and then pile in the fruits and whatever else that you are using that is going to weigh more to push everything down towards the blades. And I normally use a Vitamix. I am, again, currently in Hungary, so I don't have that available to me. This blender is not excellent, but it's pretty decent. It does a decent job. It doesn't get everything as emulsified as I would like, but just following these basic blending practices always helps me out. Always put the frozen fruit at the very top, and then that's going to push everything down towards the blades. And if you are in the US, or if you are able to purchase a Vitamix, I do have an affiliate link down in the description box below. It's going to give you free shipping, and I highly recommend it. Hi guys, I am now at the gym at the aquatic center and getting a workout in. Today is a lower body day, so I am just warming up on the treadmill, doing an incline walk. And after this, I'm gonna do some banded work and then do some lifting exercises. This is a really great gym. I love having access to this place every time I'm here. It offers so much. There's multiple saunas, multiple pools, and then of course the fitness center. So I'm gonna finish warming up and then get going on my workout. Showing you guys my typical lunch that I have here, and it's a big salad. So this is all of the raw portion that I have out here, and then I'm going to show you the cooked portion in the kitchen, which is just going to be some sauteed tofu with a little bit of onion and millet. But anyway, I have some lettuce. So everything that I have in bags here is already washed. I normally use like large food storage containers in my apartment, but here we're using bags. Either way, it works just fine. So what I find to be really easy and helpful is to have your vegetables prepped and washed and stored separately from the vegetables that still need to be washed. That way it's a lot easier to chop everything up and get your salad prepped. So here I have my lettuce, and then here I have just some random vegetables that I normally use in my salads. So inside there I have some radishes. The zucchini is actually already prepped for my salad dressing. I'll show you this plate in just a second. I don't think I might steam some broccoli. I haven't decided quite yet, but normally broccoli I steam. I don't love it raw unless I have like a really good hummus to eat it with. The green onion, that is going into the salad dressing. And then also I have my cilantro here that's kind of soaking in some filtered water to wash that. That's also going into my salad dressing. And then all of these ingredients are going into the salad dressing. So I have a clove of garlic, some of that green onion I just mentioned, some of the zucchini I just mentioned. This is more of the green onion. I'm going to juice half of a lemon. I'm also going to add in 1 medjool date, and then I've got some sea salt here. And then I have about 1/3 cup of cashews in my little blender cup here. So all of these other ingredients, along with the cilantro and some water, are gonna go in here to blend up the salad dressing. And then I also have a red bell pepper, a carrot, and some tomatoes, and a cucumber. I'm not gonna use all of the red pepper and the cucumber. I'm just gonna cut like a portion of it, a portion of that, and then the leftovers of those are gonna go into this bag here. So I can just use that the next day. And then the carrot I'm gonna peel and shred. And then the cucumber I'm also gonna peel and then just chop into small pieces. I'll show you what it all looks like, but I just wanted to give a little explanation. Before I chop my salad, I like to prepare the dressing halfway. So I like to soak the cashews, the date, and the garlic in the lemon juice and a little bit of water. That way when I go to blend it, it's going to blend a lot easier and all of the nutrients are going to be emulsified much better. And in here is just half of a lemon juiced, of course, and then some water. And then I set that aside and then I move on to chopping my salad ingredients. And this usually takes maybe like half an hour or so. Basically, I always start with the lettuce and then I move on to all of the other ingredients that I've already got prepped and washed. So everything in that bag is already prepped and washed. So now I'm just chopping a couple of radishes and I'll just move on to the next vegetable and so on and so forth. Often get asked why I peel my cucumbers, and it's because these are from the store. If I were to get them always from the farmer's market, I would feel comfortable not peeling them, but because these are from the store, I do feel like I need to peel them. And here in Hungary, it's harder to buy organic produce, believe it or not. Everyone seems to think that in Europe the produce quality is much better, but that isn't necessarily the case. It's very hit or miss. So you know, some things are better here, but some things are not. And so things like cucumbers and apples, I have to peel while I'm here. Same thing with carrots. I almost always peel them, again, unless I get like heirloom carrots from the farmer's market, just because, you know, they're in the ground and unfortunately a lot of our soil is contaminated nowadays. And then in terms of preparing it for the salad, lately I've been loving shredding the carrots. It's just such a better texture. And I just enjoy it better. It's easier for me to chew rather than if I was to just chop the carrots. So lately I've been doing that and I've been absolutely loving it. And then next up, I've got some red onion here and a little bit of green garlic that my mom picked up. So some of that was already prepped in the little baggie. I'm just giving it a fine chop here. With red onion, I think with essentially all of the salad ingredients, it's best if you can get like finely chopped vegetables. It's just going to taste better and it's going to be a lot easier to chew as well. I forgot to mention earlier that I also like to add jalapeno to my salad dressing. So this is just me showing you that I forgot about it and that I remembered now to put it in. So basically I just do like a 1/4 inch of a jalapeno and I add that in just so it's not overpowering spice, but still gives it a little bit of a kick. Next, I am blending the salad dressing ingredients. I like to blend everything before I add the herbs, and then I add the herbs, and then I give it another blend. Okay, so now that I've got the raw ingredients prepped, I want to show you the cooked portion. So here on the stovetop, I just have some chopped up onion with a little bit of soy sauce, and then I'm going to add to it a serving of chopped up tofu. This has been frozen. I froze it because it was on the verge of spoiling, but I also like to freeze it sometimes because I love the texture of it when it's already been frozen. It just has just a different texture. It's a little bit chewier, and I also find that it absorbs flavors better, so you don't have to marinate it for hours in order for it to have flavor. It just soaks up the flavor a lot faster after it's been frozen. So now I'm going to add it to my little frying pan here. So I'm cooking oil free, so I'm just going to keep an eye on it, add some more soy sauce, but because it's been frozen, it already has a little bit of water in here, and that's going to help prevent it from burning. And then here I have some cooked millet. So millet is a gluten-free grain, just like oats or quinoa, and I'm going to add a few tablespoons to it, to my tofu mixture once the tofu is cooked. And I find this helps me to feel satisfied for much longer, so it improves satiety when you include quinoa or millet. Or if I didn't have this, I would maybe add some cooked sweet potato or something along those lines, simply because I will be satisfied for much longer. So this meal is going to keep me going and fueled for about 4 hours. Whereas if for 4 or 5 hours, depending on the day, if I'm doing like heavy lifting, it's only going to be, 4 hours. If I'm more like just walking and stretching on that day in terms of my exercise, then it would keep me fueled for about 5 hours. So that's primarily why I include both the tofu and the millet, because if I'm eating fully raw, I have to eat like every 2.5 hours, because I'll just get hungry much faster, which I don't always want to do. Also, you guys know I follow medical medium protocols, and he does say to stay away from GMO soy. And he also says that, essentially all soy could be contaminated. But he also says that if you feel deprived, you can keep some organic non-GMO soy products in your routine. And I do honestly feel a little bit of deprivation when I feel like I can't have soy in my life. So I do include it, not every day, but only when I'm not cleansing. So obviously when I'm doing cleansing, or if I'm eating fully raw for a period of time, like in the summer I'm going to eat fully raw for a period of time, then I'm not going to include tofu or tempeh or any kind of soy products. But when I'm not cleansing, I do really like to have some on hand. I find it improves my satiety. I feel like it's more of a balanced meal, because it is like a lot more of a protein source, and I'm not one of those protein pushers at all. However, I do find that if you don't have any like macronutrient that delivers protein, then you're going to be hungry like 2 hours later. So I really do like the taste, especially, you know, once you've seasoned it well. I like the texture. I like the way I feel when I'm eating soy. So I do like to incorporate it from time to time. I also want to mention along the lines of soy is I like to be my own doctor, and that's what I teach the people I work with as well. If I have some health coaching clients, if the soy brought me discomfort, if I was dealing with a viral flare, I would definitely not include it, of course, but I'm currently feeling just fine, and so I'm feeling like I can incorporate it. So here I am pouring the dressing over, and it is always such a satisfying view. I always think it's so beautiful, all of the nutrient dense colors. And then typically I just give it a nice little mix, and then I add the cooked portion on top. Sometimes I'll add the cooked portion in and then stir it that way. It just depends. You can do either or. But yeah, this is typically what a meal looks like when I'm not fully raw, and I find it super satisfying. I am now out here on a nature walk after that lunch. I have been going on these, I call them digestion walks, but they're obviously great for so many different things. But it's so beneficial to go on a walk right after you've had a meal. It really helps with digestion, elimination. It also helps to regulate your blood sugar levels so that you don't have as big of a spike, especially if you're consuming a meal that has some fats in it, which I just did. So if you're not already doing this habit, I highly recommend incorporating it. It's also a really great way to get your steps in and to spend time in nature. I love these beautiful walks. Oh my gosh, they're just so amazing. And I'm just so grateful to have this pathway available to me. Like, there's literally no one ever here. It's just me and nature. And I also like to habit stack and listen to either podcasts or activations. And activations is a brand new self-care modality that I have been listening to lately. They are essentially, they're kind of like a mix between meditations and subliminals. And so you're essentially listening to high frequency music paired with like motivational messaging to get you activated to be your next best version of yourself. They are absolutely amazing. I've just been loving listening to them so much. They really help to boost my mood and raise my frequency. And it's basically just an app that you download. They usually have a 2-week free trial. And on the app, you can listen to, I think, close to 1,000 different activations at this point. So depending on what you want to work on, if you want to work on manifestation, if you want to work on improving your sleep, bringing in more money into your life, losing weight, whatever it is, there's an activation for it. And they have also given me, the activations app has given me a 25% off link that you guys can use. I also have a QR code, so I will put that up here. You could definitely check that out if you are interested in quantum physics, raising your frequency, manifestation, embodying the next best version of yourself. I highly recommend employing something like this. It's just next level, and it makes things a lot easier for you. So anyway, I'm going to show you guys the view and keep taking my beautiful nature walk. get back from my walk. This little cutie always greets me. She is so cute. She was actually a stray cat that my mom took in earlier this year. I want to say at the very beginning of the year, she took this little stray cat in, and it was such a blessing because we had lost one of our cats at the end of last year. So this little cutie has brought so much joy into our lives again. In terms of beverages, I drink lemon water, 32 ounces every morning, which I've shared with you guys before. And then throughout the day, I make several more batches of lemon water, probably 2 more. So I usually drink 32 ounces of lemon water a day. And then I also drink about 12 ounces of ginger water once a day. Basically all this is ginger blended with filtered water, nothing else. And it's pretty potent, so it's not just like a quarter of an inch, it's probably like a full inch or an inch and a half per the 12 ounces. Probably actually an inch and a half to 2 inches, sorry, for the 12 ounces. In terms of dinner, I usually choose between a couple of different options. This is one of those, so it's like another salad with a cooked vegan meal, which is a vegetable soup in this case scenario, and it's so delicious. It is loaded with vegetables. Oh my goodness. Option number 2 lately has been overnight oats with chia seeds soaked into the oats, topped with some fresh fruit. Oh my gosh, this has been so delicious. And I basically just make the decision based on how much leftovers we have and whether or not I'm craving sweet or savory.